Hi. Oh, sorry. It's all right. Just as I started to talk, something popped up at the top of the screen. They've put a new pop-up that comes up that didn't used to come up in a Hangout. So that was why I went, ooh, I thought it'd cut us off. Okay, so we'll start again. Hi, and welcome to Link for Growth, Durham and North Yorks Community TV. I'm Carol Dodsley, and I have with me Gerri Riddiough, who is the district leader for Durham and North Yorks. Gerri, come and say hello.
Hello, hiya, certainly am. I thought you'd forgotten who you are for a second there when you first started.
Yeah, I'm kind of in a bit of forgetting who I am. There's so much going on at the moment, and I'm about to go away and do some really exciting things, so everything sort of gets a bit fuzzy. So I might have remembered who I am by the time I go away, though. How are you, Gerri?
I'm well, thank you. Yeah, just been doing my usual frantic running about before we got on here and gathering information, where I've been, where I'm going. Here I am. I'm remembering to look up.
Yeah, that is a really important part. And this is actually a tip. Gerri and I were talking before we came live today, and it's actually a tip for anybody that's doing Hangouts on air. When you're on a Hangout on air and you have co-presenters with you or guests with you, it's very natural to look down inside from where you are out there. All you can see at the moment is me. And when Gerri talks, all you can see is Gerri. But inside the Hangout, where we are, we can see each other in a little film strip at the bottom. And it's very natural to look down at the person in the film strip. But what that actually does is it means that the person in the film strip can't see you looking at them because you're looking down. And your audience can't see you looking at them because you're looking down, talking to something down here. So remember to look at the little green or the blue or whatever coloured dot you have on your webcam, and look at your webcam and remember that you're actually talking through your webcam to the people on the other side, and they love it when you look at them.
Not like we're doing this.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Gerri, where have you been?
Been all over this week. I've had to go through my diary to see where I've been because it's been, well, it's not even picked up pace yet, to be totally honest. But on Monday, I was down in Bradford at Link for Coffee, which was at 10 till 12. It was fantastic, really, really good event, with lots of people there. I don't know if you know much about the venue, do you, Carol?
Was that the new one that's Damien's event is it in a barber shop?
It's in a barber shop. It's a barber shop with a fully licensed bar in it.
Wow. Now that sounds really cool. I think my two boys would love to see that. I hope you've got some pictures because both of my boys are barbers as well.
Yeah, I have. I need to put a blog together on that to tell people that it's there, basically. A bit of the feedback from, there was a lady there actually, my husband absolutely loved this. If we were going shopping, she said I could just chuck him in here for a couple of hours, he can have a wet shave and have his haircut and have a few pants while I go off and go shopping. So it's a fantastic venue, really, really, yeah.
So it's also a great thing that people came along for the Link for Growth launch, but they've also now found a local venue that is something completely unique, because there's not many barbershops that are decked out the way that barbershop is. I have seen some pictures online and it is absolutely phenomenal. It's really old,
right,
traditional layout with leather sofas in there as well, and there's not many barbers where people can go along and have a drink.
Absolutely. It was, like I say, fantastic. There was people came from all over. There was people from Leeds and Huddersfield, people who really get Link for Growth and where we're coming from, what we're doing, and that have said, yeah, I want to get started with new district. So that'll be in the next few months that we're sort of rolling that out. But it's, yeah, certainly gathering momentum and the right people showing up at the right time.
Awesome. I bet for Damien that was excellent because it was his first, and sometimes when people launch a new event there's only a couple of people turn up because they don't really get it and they're not used to it, and some people worry about that, but it doesn't matter because it's about let's get started, and one person will then talk to another person and then it doubles and then it quadruples and the word spreads out. But when you have a launch like Damien had with so many people coming from so many places, that is really exciting.
Yeah, that doesn't happen by accident though, Carol, as well, remember. Well, there are no accidents, but Damien put in a lot of preparation planning and is already planning for the next event and inviting people there, so he's put a lot of effort into that, but I can come back to that in shout out.
Okay, Where else have you been?
Tuesday and Wednesday was a bit of admin time for me. I've been doing putting some vlogs together on debt, mortgages. When I first sort of set about this journey, I thought, how on earth can I talk about what's interesting to know? But there's lots and lots of things people want to know. So that's, I say this each week, there's a lot of planning and preparation goes into Link for Growth and putting our message out there. So that brings me really to Thursday, which was yesterday. I was over in Penrith at Cafe 15. Again, fantastic venue. They have on all of the walls, they have like a gallery that they show different artists' work up there, and people come in to actually see what they've got on display. They also do lots and lots of food. They do things, obviously they do lots of food. They do things like they have alternative milk and stuff as well, because I did actually take my own coconut milk. As you know, I'd had a bit of an episode. I'm still quite poorly eczema, the side effects coming off there. But yeah, they do. They have alternative, and same goes for foods as well. So nutrition-wise, they're really, really on the money there.
Cool. So, because you said that they have local art and everything, so are they a coffee shop or are they an art shop that serves coffee?
Coffee shop, a cafe that has a gallery in it. So they're just basically using the wall space to show off local artists' work. It's brilliant.
Yeah, and I think that's something that a lot of local cafes and small cafes as well that they miss. I remember years ago I used to make what you call dough craft. It's basically salt and flour, and you make ornaments out of it to put on your wall, which sounds a bit weird, but they're absolutely stunning. And we actually, in my hometown, there is they're a coffee shop, but they're a little bit more of a tea shop than a coffee shop. And I spoke to them, and we actually had all of my stuff displayed on their walls. And what we did is we worked in partnership as well, because they were displaying my art and crafts on their walls. If anybody bought anything because they were available for sale, then they got part of the profit. So it was like it brought them more people into their coffee shop. It also helped them increase their profits because my art was selling and they were getting a percentage of it as my way of giving back and saying thank you for letting me put it on the walls. But they were also getting their walls looking great because it was so unusual to see all these arts and crafts on the walls.
Absolutely, and that's something, with you saying that, we've been looking at that locally, where one company might stock certain products that would benefit another shop, looking at actually doing the same on a commission split, so they can both get their products out there in different towns. That's something that's quite early days, but it's something that we're working on at the moment too.
Yeah, and I think that's a great thing to think about, because we've sort of got into the environment where it's everybody for themselves and everybody in competition, and how can we beat the competition and how can we get more customers. But actually, when you start to look at the partnerships you could have, it doesn't mean that you're giving away your customers. It means that actually, if like you said there, if there's two businesses with complementary products, they can both offer both and signpost to each other and work together and share the profits, and they actually increase their customer base. They don't lose it, and they get rid of this competitive.
We're both struggling today, aren't we?
They get rid of having to worry about competitors.
Exactly, working together as a collaboration, and I think the same with charities and businesses as well. I know they have the CSR lunch down south that I was talking to Chris about community social responsibility, and I said, oh, I don't know if that would work up here. Anyway, there's all sorts going on in the background. Sometimes I get things really wrong.
You just raised another good point there when you said, oh, I don't think that will work up here. There's a lot of people across the UK in all different areas who see something like Link for Growth, love it, love the whole concept, love everything, and then they go, but I don't think that would work here. And actually, it will work absolutely everywhere.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more challenging than other times, depending on the culture and the people that live in a local environment. But actually, underneath, everybody wants to make more friends, everybody wants to connect with more people, everybody wants to do more business, and everybody wants to make life easier. So it will work anywhere, just maybe the challenges are slightly different.
Absolutely. I just think I can't believe those words came out of my mouth, because I'm usually the one saying, yeah, we can do it, we'll find a way. And no, we'll have to call it something else. Anyway, apparently we don't need to call it something else. It's just so there's a lot of work in progress in the background. One of the reasons for that is to what do we say? Remove the cloak of invisibility. That's the term, isn't it? For some of the smaller charities, or that can't get charity status because it's a family appeal, or it's one cause, and you can't call yourself a charity unless you're there to help everybody. So that's something that's being looked at in the background by Tonya. She's got meetings on that next week, Tonya Nixon, about seeing what we can do to create that, to then work with the CSR and create the luncheons with businesses and this charity that can help the smaller causes, like, and help them. I've gone off at a tangent again, so I've just dashed back in. I've been to Cleveland Golf Club just now, where they've got a competition on, a golfing tournament. They're just teeing off, I think, or not long teed off. That's one of the events that Tonya's lined up to raise some funds for the Hookins Family Appeal. So that's where I've just been now. So that's brought us kind of up to speed, up to date to today.
Cool. So how come you're not on the golf course?
I've never played golf in my life. It stands for gentlemen only, ladies forbidden. Although there were ladies there.
It's great fun. I did a charity golf thing once. That somebody was putting on behalf. Our funds went to the charity. And I mean, when I was a kid, I used to play around with my brothers, but I hadn't actually played golf. And when you're at that sort of event, they don't expect you to be able to play it, really. It's more, let's go and have some fun. And it was an absolutely awesome morning. So next time that there's one, Gerri, get yourself over there and join in, because you're the lady that says, if you haven't done it, that's no excuse. So go and do it.
I have played crazy golf a lot of times, if that counts.
Yeah, of course it does.
Speaks volumes, though, doesn't it?
Okay, so have you got any shout-outs for today?
Yeah, mainly, like we mentioned briefly, Damien there, for the background work and effort that he put in, driving people to come along and participate in the event on Monday, because he's like a little whirlwind. He's constantly sort of getting, he's out there at Google Plus and everywhere and chatting to people, but actually forging relationships with them, not just blasting out the event, actually talking to people and saying, putting posts saying, this is what we're doing, if you're interested, this is the event that's coming up, and come and get involved. So I'm really, really proud of Damien. He's done really, really well. Yeah. Next up is Lisa Fenwick. She's been working with Mike Riddiough, getting some, obviously she's got her own events that she's hosting and launching new ones in the planning all the time. She's been working with Mike Riddiough from down in Watford to organise some workshops to get people along to that, to educate them on parking fines, speeding fines, that sort of thing, and the legalities on that. So there's, again, a lot of background work going in, and we'll roll that out and tell people a bit more about it as it happens. The other is D20man. She's off to an event in Stanley tomorrow, which is another group of people that are on the same page as us, and again looking at collaboration, how we can work together and grow the Tyne and Weir area too. So, and last up is Tonya Nixon. Like I said, just been to see her. She's organised lots of events in this area, and she's down at the golf club now, jumping on people for money. It's working.
Yeah, I can just imagine Tonya jumping on people for money.
I've actually witnessed her chasing people around the golf club, saying, "Oh, you're not getting away, come here." With your money. So really well done to her. She's putting a lot of effort in there to help the Hookins Family Appeal.
Good stuff. And that's another great thing about being part of Link for Growth, is that each district can actually help their own local charities, whereas normally charities, they're struggling in their own local districts because either there's so many or they have this cloak of invisibility where people don't know about them. And the big charities, the national charities, because they have a load of money, because they have a load of funding, they sort of push themselves to the front and everybody knows about them, but they don't know about these smaller groups and smaller causes and things that are going on in the background that actually need people's support more. So by having local areas within Link for Growth, the district leaders and the community hosts and the teams and everybody that gets together can really support and give a massive kick to people and a massive push up because of the fact that it's everybody working together within that Link for Growth district.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly that.
Okay, so we've done shout outs. We know where you've been.
Yeah.
What's coming up? Oh, local news. Have you got any local news that was nothing to do with where you've been, but local news?
Yes. Not so much news. It's the events. There's tomorrow is Gisborough got a farmers market on, and it's trading locally. What you're showing here.
Is that the one?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Totally locally. I couldn't think of the words then. And that's anybody from a 10-mile radius with business that are traders are coming along to that. We'll be there from 10 till 4 tomorrow. So I'm going to head across to that in the morning for a couple of hours. And there's some things I need, and I didn't get to Redcar Market today because I've been to the golf club. So yeah, that's really quite looking forward to that. I think there'll be a lot there.
I love the fact that it's called Totally Local. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, and I saw it I was in Gisborough Health Food Shop, which is a small privately run business. And speaking to them about, I went in and the lady behind the counter said, "It's Geraldine, isn't it?" Like, I haven't been called that in a while. She'd always in the year below you at school. We got chatting, and a few years ago, Holland and Barrett opened down the road from them, and they're still there and they're trading, and a lot of the stuff that they sell is actually very competitive and sometimes even cheaper than Holland and Barrett sell. But because the perception is they've got the penny sale and such like, a lot of people did hit them in terms of the trade that they've gotten in. So I'd really like to see and get some more information out on that and some actual facts rather than just me giving it as an opinion. Just again to encourage people to shop locally again, which is part of the aim of Link for Growth. That was for each and every individual business.
Yeah, I think Chris did a really great blog post earlier this week about shopping locally, because he stopped shopping in supermarkets, what was it, a year ago now?
30th of September, yeah.
Yeah, and that was really, and what I loved when I read Chris's blog about shop locally is it's not just about shopping locally for the sake of buying stuff from the local shops. The benefits that come out of it, if people go over and find it, I mean, we'll have to find the link and put it into your event page so people can click through to it. But Chris shared a whole host of benefits that you wouldn't even think about that you're going to get when you start shopping locally.
Absolutely. And what was brilliant was a lot of people actually shared it when I posted it up on Facebook. People have never even met Chris but are totally on the same page. But what's funny is it's some people that I'd invited to Link for Growth lots of times, and I think they've just thought, oh, it's business networking, or it's just that, and they've got the same core principles, the same beliefs as us. But actually putting that blog post out, then they shared that with other people and said, look, this is what it's all about. So that was brilliant. And then I linked it back and said, well, that's what we're doing with Link for Growth. So come and join us, come and help us. We can't just do it on our own. So we need everybody.
Exactly. The more the merrier.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes. So the other thing I wanted to mention was, for this area specifically, it's Redcar. If anyone goes to www.redcarlive.com, there's hundreds of events on there. You know, when you said, "Oh, what's going on?" There's nothing. I can't find anything. There's nothing coming up. We don't get. We used to get Herald and Post. We used to get the Cleveland Clarion. There's very little comes out paperwork-wise, leaflets, magazines, that sort of thing. And it's because most people are looking online. So on Redcar Live, if you go on there and actually scroll down to the Huckins Family Appeal on there, there's events that Tanya's organised. There's lots and lots of other stuff as well happening locally. Again, family-run businesses, pubs and such like that aren't necessarily, they might even be part of a chain, but they're actually run by people in our community, and it's their livelihood, their business. So lots on there. The two that are coming up for the Huckins Family Appeal are on the 11th of October, which is Saturday, is karaoke, which is on 2 till 8, and on the 18th of October, we need to clarify that date because Tanya's booked it in for the 18th and put the 19th, I believe, on an A board outside of the pub, which is at Elgin's, that I worked in there for years and years, loved it. And that's on from 11 in the morning to 6 at night, which is a family fun day. Again, on that website, there's stacks of information there about the two events, and also, like I say, lots and lots of other things that are going on locally too.
Good stuff. Any other local news, or is that it for today?
That's as much as I'm going to gather together when I back in today.
Okay, so tell me what's coming up next week.
What's coming up? Right. Well, tonight we've got States, which is at the Captain Cook Inn. Now, I have mentioned it to a few people. We haven't done as much online with this as we perhaps should have done. When things like that happen, I often find things happen, or I say or do things afterwards, why have I done that? And then it becomes clear to me. One of those things is getting out there, because I think we've got to find a way of promoting our events offline as well as online, because there's a lot of communities out there that are doing really, really well as communities, and we can actually learn from them to roll it out across the rest of the country. One of those is Saltburn, you've got Stades, Gisborough, that I mentioned before, very, very close-knit communities. And so that's something I'm going to be looking at tonight, is a way of how we can. Dee actually mentioned a few weeks ago that if we put a poster together and laminate it, we could perhaps write on with dry white marker when the next events are. The lady I met that knew me, I knew her as well, in Gisborough health food shop, actually said, well, I'll put some up in the school for you, St Joseph's, which is the junior school that I went to. And lots and lots of people that will actually do that and help us. We've just got to give them the tools. 2 reasons, because without that tool, they can't do anything. And also it's got to be putting the right message across, that it's in absolute sync with what we're doing, and inviting the right people to come along that will get it and want to be involved.
Yeah, I think sometimes the sort of the on and the offline world get confused as being two separate things to a lot of people. And actually the on and the offline world are exactly the same thing. They're people connecting with people, real people, because a lot of people go, well, you're online, why don't you go and meet real people? And it's like, do you think that the people that I'm typing a message are not real? Am I typing to a robot? No. But it's a different sort of thought pattern, and it's a different feeling. But when people start to realize that on and offline actually are the same world, just using different tools, and I think we use Eventbrite for all of our events, so there's a lot of online, and we say share it on social media because that's where a lot of people spend a lot of time, and sometimes people forget. Although all of the events with Link for Growth are offline, people forget to promote them offline because they're so used to promoting online, because that's where you go to register. So I think it's really great that you're going to be doing more of the offline as well as the online and bringing that together.
Yes, definitely. I think one of the things it needs to have is the next date and the venue in that specific area, but perhaps put the Eventbrite link on there so that people know where to look, and obviously the Link for Growth site, perhaps a Facebook page, other places for people to find those resources.
And something that I don't know, because I know that you're not quite as techie as I am, but something that we can, if you want to have a link to put on there, is we could look at either Google or Bitly and shorten the link, so it's not this great long Eventbrite link, that you can actually type a very neat link on there, so that people don't have to be sitting there trying to write down 20,000 letters at the end.
They could even do what I did there with the Gisborough poster and take a photograph of it, so they've got that link when they get home. Might even be worth putting on the poster.
I was just going to say, what you need to do is put that on the poster and say, take a picture,
Call to
take
action.
it home with you.
Yeah, brilliant.
Actually, Gerri, I've just had another idea just came into my head. Why not get a QR code created?
Yeah.
It goes back to your Eventbrite page that has all of that area's events on it. It's one link to go through to the web page to then look at all of the events. So you can get a QR code done, and the QR code can go on the poster as well.
Brilliant. When we said that and said about taking the photo, the badge flashed into my head with the QR code, and I was thinking, how could we use that? And then you used to read my mind, Carol. So yeah, that's today's tonight, and then tomorrow is afternoon tea at the Mind Cafe, which is in town in Redcar. It's opposite Goodswin's Butchers and the Clarendon Hotel. It's next door to Holland and Barrett actually. It's just around the corner from where New Wolves Butchers used to be, and that's actually another business that's closed down locally, and it's kind of representative of a lot of our high streets that I just thought I'd mention in there quickly on the back of that. That a lot of them have suffered because we're doing the shopping in supermarkets thing, which we just addressed. One of the things that came up was when I looked at an average family spend, about £500 a week, just under nationally. So I thought, well, we're in the northeast, let's call it 200. When I looked at 67,000 households in this area, that's £696,800,000 a year on just those houses alone. If you take into consideration eating out, other activities that you do in the community, £200 isn't a lot of money. It's not that big a number that we're looking at, but it's nearly £700 million that's potentially not going into our high streets.
Yeah, when you start to look at it like that, and you start to tell people those figures, it actually makes you think, what?
Yeah,
that's the money that is going to the big corporations that are taking it away from the local area, that could be going back into the local area and making a difference where you live.
Absolutely. So that's afternoon tea, Mind Cafe, 2 till 4 tomorrow, and it's lovely. It's all home cooked food. It's 100%. We mentioned this before as well about the money that goes back into community. So when we spend in a supermarket or a retail chain, the money that stays in the community is only 10%, so it's 10 pence in every pound. If we shop locally, it's 50 pence in every pound, so it's a massive, massive difference. If we go to Mind Cafe, it's 100% in the pound that stays in the community, because it's actually all volunteered. So the money that comes in the cafe is spent on more food to generate the next lot, if you like, but it also goes into the Mind charity that supports people locally that might have had mental illness issues, mental health issues, which I think is a fantastic thing.
Yeah, I think that's really great. And is there a specific cost for the food there for the afternoon tea, or do people just choose what they want?
Yes, we put a package together which is £5, and for that you get a pot of tea, 4 sandwiches, choice of 3 generally. I think it was tuna, egg or ham last time, so if you're vegetarian there's something there, or pescatarian, eat fish. You also get a scone and a cake for £5. One thing that did come up though was people, what if I don't want afternoon tea? Well, you don't have to have it, you can just have a cup of tea. You can come along a glass of water, I suppose, if you wanted to, but wanted to come and meet people and get out into the community.
Yeah, and I asked you that because I think it's a really important thing, because sometimes people hear, oh, it's only £5 for your afternoon tea, and they instantly think, but I don't want afternoon tea, I don't like sandwiches, or whatever else, whatever other reason. But that doesn't exclude people from coming along. If you come along and you would like to participate in purchasing the afternoon tea for yourself, you can. But if you'd like to just come along and participate and chat with people and meet new people and connect, you can come along and do that without having the afternoon tea.
Absolutely. I know my mum couldn't make it last time, so she came in to give her £5, and they actually gave her the little pack up to take away. She ate it at work, and she said everybody was really jealous, saying, where have you gotten that from? So the food's absolutely lovely, really, really nice. So, and then just to look at next week, a few events that we've got there. There's a couple in this area next week, which is Wednesday evening, 6:30, which is Link for Drinks at the Spa Hotel in Saltburn. Get absolutely fantastic venue, looking out. It's kind of halfway up a hill or cliff, looking out to sea. It's absolutely stunning out there. So 6:30 on Wednesday. And there's quite a few new people who've said they want to come to that next week, so that should be good. And some fantastic older people that are so old, I'm listening to them out there, that consistently come along and support us, and the feedback I get from them, and the help and ideas and fantastic things going on. One of the things that came from Saltburn, I think it was the initial one, the launch, a guy, Jeff, came along from Brambles, which is a shop in Saltburn. It's a lovely, wonderful little shop. And he said to Nick from Mind, what is it you're after? What can I do? Is it just money you want? And he said, well, it's donations. And he said, well, what? Anything from books to clothes to, yes, money, but anything that they could sell in the shop. And he had a lot of stock that's come in, or he consistently gets stuff that's not quite up to scratch that he wouldn't sell in his shop. It's maybe something slightly wrong with it. They can't really send it back. So he said, can I give you that to sell in your shop? Which is, again, brilliant. It wouldn't have happened without Link for Growth and them making that connection. And there's more and more. I just wish people would tell me about it, because this had all gone in the background. That's brilliant. Why don't I know about it? So there's more and more of these stories we'll be sharing. Success stories really celebrating our wins, no matter how small or how large they become.
Yeah, exactly. And every success story, every connection that you make with a new person is something to celebrate.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. You never quite know what will come from a simple hello and meeting people. So that's Wednesday the 8th. On the 9th, we've got coffee, which is the Fellies up at Kirkleatham. Again, another brilliant venue. 10 till 12. Again, you can buy whatever you want. It's a cup of coffee, or you want late breakfast, early lunch, whatever that may be. That's on Thursday. And then Friday, got an early morning start. I'm dashing off to Barcelona. I'll tell you more about that as and when. Something I'm doing for me, really.
So, no community TV next week?
I forgot about that. Unless I can find a way. Depends if I've got a...
We'll have a talk about it, because I'm not here next Friday, because I'll be in Bulgaria and have no idea if I'll be anywhere near a computer or not. But if you're doing community TV, I mean, maybe you could do it on Thursday instead of the Friday, and you'll need to go and find yourself a host as well. But watch this space, everybody. Gerri will let everybody know if she is doing community TV. If you hear nothing, you know that she's in Barcelona having a fun time.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly that. So, yes, that's about it. There's lots going on. Actually, I'll mention briefly then, on the 14th, which is the week after, is the second Gosforth event up in Tyne Weir. It's worth just mentioning that quickly now, in case I'm not able to do community TV next week. But if I can find a way, I'll be here. Well, I won't be here.
You'll be somewhere else. And can I just mention the training for everybody in your area? Right at this moment and next week, there is no training. What we're doing is, in the background, there is a lot of work going on with the training, and especially the foundational programs that Link for Growth offers, which are basically between 2 and 3 hours long. So we call them half days. Some are a little bit shorter than others depending on the content, but they're all about the social media platforms, these particular programs. And it's your way to be able to learn in a short, sharp burst what you need to get set up, or set up properly if you're already set up and you don't quite know if you've got it right, to understand exactly why you're using a platform, because Facebook is different to Twitter, is different to LinkedIn, is different to Google+, and if you don't understand the why behind it and try and just go into everyone in the same way, they don't work for you. So these workshops will really get you up and running very quickly, very simple. There's no sort of, oh, we're going to take you into all this complicated stuff so that you'll go away going, well, I got that much stuff and it was great, but now I really don't know what to do. They're really well structured, and they are full of great content that helps absolutely everybody. And the whole program will be back up and will be re-promoted again, starting hopefully next week. Even though I'm not here, I'm hoping to get those up onto Eventbrite before I go away, so that people will be able to see them and will be able to start booking themselves in.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things I would say on that, the trainings that I've actually been on, I've made connections with people online, and then become connected on social media, and I've seen them come away from the workshop and start creating their own business pages and actually implementing what they've learned there and then, which is great, fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, on the ones that I've run, because I run the Google Plus and the Hangout ones, I've actually come off the workshop, and within a minute I have had emails hitting my inbox saying, Carol, wow, thank you, that was absolutely fantastic. I didn't know why I was on the platform before and it couldn't work it out. Now I'm excited and I've started setting my stuff up. So, you know, I know that people are really loving them and that they are going away feeling excited and feeling clear about how to use them and what to do. So that's, to me, that's always awesome to know.
Yeah, and people don't ordinarily do that. They don't get back in touch and say thank you unless something's been exceptionally good. They'll go away thinking, oh yeah, that was great, but to actually thank you personally and say how good it was, how great it was, is awesome feedback.
Yeah, and some of the testimonials, because those people that emailed me have since sent a testimonial as well as the original thank you email, and other people have also sent in testimonials, and what we're starting to do is put some of those testimonials onto Eventbrite so that people that have never heard of us or have never been on a workshop can actually see what people think about them. It's not just us saying, this is a great workshop, go and get on it. You can actually see feedback from people that have already been on it. And of course, out there on the ground, the district leaders, the community hosts, community leaders who have been on, and the subscribers who have been on, they can talk to you. And I know that everybody would be more than happy to tell people about the workshops and why they should get on them.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so that it, Gerri?
It is. That's it.
Okay, so it's goodbye from me, and that brought the two Ronnies to mind. Until next time.
Yeah.